What's going on, everybody? Happy holidays and season's greetings. My name is Ben, and welcome back to the bench for another episode of the 12 Sprues of Kit-mas. We're moving on today, guys, with build day number 6, and oh boy, we are halfway through. So I'm feeling the pinch for sure, though. It is getting hectic. Let's go ahead and grab that box, though, and check out what we have in store for us for day number 6. Now, last time we had a rough kit we pulled through, and I think it turned out okay, but today I'm really hoping I get something a lot easier than the last model we built. Go ahead and punch on through the top of the box here, and let's find that label. Kind of search around in here. I know it's somewhere. Sometimes my girlfriend taped it to the side of the box just to make sure they don't slide around underneath the dividers. And yep, there it is. And okay, we've got the Academy F6F3 or 5 Hellcat. I'm relieved, guys, because this will be a lot easier than the last kit we built. Let's go ahead and open up the box, though, and check it out. This is a pretty standard Academy boxing. I don't really see much difference here than what I built in, say, last year for all the Academies I built then. We've got a single poly bag with all of our parts. We do have a nice decal sheet. We've got some warnings, some instructions. So let's go ahead and check out the details here. Parts look okay, but let's look at the decals. Sometimes the decals can be a little on the thick side. They don't look too bad here. And the instructions. Now, this is supposed to be one you can build either the -3 with the tricolor camo or the -5 with the overall glossy dark sea blue. I think I'm leaning towards doing the -5. I actually have a -3 in the stash in 1/48 scale, so I might just stick with the -5. I've got the dark sea blue that I used on the Bearcat in MRP. That should be a decent color for this as well. So I think that's what we're going to do. That should be a fun change of pace. Now, of course, how to weather that, I have no idea because that was notoriously sturdy paint, but well, we'll get to that when we get to that. Now, in terms of the actual construction, everything looks very simple, very basic. Yeah, start in the cockpit, work our way through to the end of the aircraft. So nothing fancy there, nothing out of the ordinary. We were given a single clear bag for all of our clear parts, and we do have the front windscreen and that sliding portion of the canopy, plus we have the 2 rear windows for the -3s. We're not going to be using those. We'd have to cut the kit as well. I don't want to do that, so we're just going to go with -5. Fuselage looks great. We have recessed panel lines, very nice detail. We've got some nice looking parts, of course, a single decal for the instrument panel, but we do have a floor. We've got the side consoles, got some detail, we've got a seat. So yeah, not too shabby. Wings look great. Of course, these aren't folded. These are just completely deployed wings. We've got some gun barrels molded in. I don't know if I really like those. They might be a little bit too thick for me, but I'm not going to worry about it. Again, 1/72 scale, so we're good there. Drop tank looks kind of strange. Don't like how they've molded that. Wheels look good in terms of detail, but they're awfully chunky. I don't know if Hellcats had such chunky wheels, but well, it's all right. We do have some locating pins for the ordnance. We can put some rockets or some bombs on here. I'll probably end up covering those and make it into the fighter version. Now onto the decals. Decals, of course, give us 2 different schemes. We've got the stars and bars for the tricolored, and we've got the regular stars and bars for the dark sea blue camo. So I think those are going to be fine. They look shiny. They look good. So I don't know if they're going to apply well or not, but we'll deal with that when we come to it. For the clear parts, they are a little on the thick side, and I've learned that Academy doesn't like to actually have open canopies, so that might not really fit, but we are given a 2-piece canopy, which is nice. Now, this is actually one of the only kits so far that I've been able to pull a reference book on, and I was flipping through and I found this picture right here, and if you notice, this is actually a different plane, but the same unit as with the -5 we have here in the Academy kit, so that's pretty cool. We kind of get an idea. We've got a different color drop tank. It's actually pretty clean. We have no ordnance hanging from the wings. So if I can go ahead and repaint this drop tank, maybe a white color or whatnot, and then we can pull the ordnance, we'll have a pretty decent -5 Hellcat here. Always good to have references, guys. I think we're going to follow that and pull that ordnance. We're going to try it out. So let's go ahead and jump into our first time lapse, guys. I want to start the construction of the aircraft. I want to go ahead and paint up the cockpit. I want to get some seams filled. I want to do as much as I can possibly do and get this thing ready as fast as I can because we are limited on time and we are only halfway through. On with that first time lapse, guys. Let's make it happen. Let's see what we can do. All right, everybody, so we are back, and so far this kit is absolutely a joy to build. Now we're going to go ahead though and mask up the canopy, and I have been kind of test fitting as I've been going here. The canopy will not fit in the open position. So unfortunately, the seat belts that we added into the kit and any of the detail painting that we did is not really going to be noticeable because we're going to have to close the canopy. I don't know what it is about Academy kits that just don't let you open up those multi-part canopies. But I mean, it's okay. I'm not really too concerned about it. We're still going to get through. It's still a fun kit. So I think we're just going to plow on. Now, I did notice that as I was kind of getting everything assembled here, I accidentally knocked off the gun sight. It's actually molded onto one of the sides of the aircraft. So I'm going to go ahead and reattach that now. Luckily, I found the part. Very simple procedure, just a little drop of our quick setting Tamiya extra thin. We'll just go ahead and tack that gun sight back on, and we're good to go. Then I want to go ahead and come back after that is dry, and I want to paint up the front coping, and then I can install the canopy. I'm going to go ahead and use some Tamiya flat black for the coping. I don't really know if this is correct. I've seen flat black. I've seen it dark glossy blue. I don't really know what to do here. So I'm just going to go with flat black. With the windscreen all nicely glued in place, we should be able to install the center section of the canopy and glue that down as well. So you can see it just does not fit over that spine of the aircraft. So we're just going to go ahead and tack it into place. Again, just a little bit of Tamiya extra thin, and we should be good to go ahead and move over to our priming. We got all the seams filled up with some Mr. Surfacer, wiped it down with a bit of acetone nail polish remover, so we're good there. We're going to prime it with a white Stalin-Res primer. Then I want to come back and I want to try to do that MRP Dark Sea Blue. But I'm going to try something a little bit different. I'm going to use the Dark Sea Blue as my panel line shading. Then I'm going to come in with a very thin coat of Dark Sea Blue, overcoat the entire aircraft, kind of allowing that darker sea blue to show through. And then I'm going to go ahead and overcoat it with a nice gloss coat in preparation for decals. And then, of course, any touch-ups and whatnot I might need to do, I'll take care of that as well. So back into the time-lapse, guys. We are getting there. Let's see how this thing looks in some dark sea blue. So not too bad, I have to admit. It's not exactly as I was thinking, but it actually looks kind of cool. You can see a subtle shift in paint and in shade, though it does remain dark sea blue. I don't know if it really is effective on camera, but I like it. With the white Stanneret primer, it made it a bit brighter, so that's always nice. I'm just doing a little bit of touch-up paint here and there, and then I have to go ahead and move on with the next bit of detail installation. We're getting there, guys. It's close. Also, let's go ahead and throw on the wheels. Now, I mentioned the wheels before. They seem a little bit chunky for something in this scale. I don't really know if that's true or not. I always remember Hellcat wheels being a little bit larger and a little thinner, but I have actually sanded in some flat spots on the wheel so that it can sit a little bit of wheel pressure. So that's nothing big. I'm going to go ahead and align that, and then we can move on with the next couple of stages. Now let's go ahead and put on the final finishing touches here for the landing gears. Let's put on the wheel bay doors. I'm just going to go ahead and use a little bit of our quick setting extra thin cement, glue them all down, and then, yeah, we'll be good to go and move on to the next stage. So far, we're getting everything nicely installed, and everything is actually fitting beautifully. Now I think we're going to go ahead and just paint up a couple of the details here, like the gun barrels. I'm going to paint those in NATO black. Don't know if that's really important or not. You're probably not really going to see them. Again, I think they're a little on the chunky side. I think they should be a little bit smaller, maybe not so thick, but they may actually benefit from a little bit of some drilling out. So the one area I am finding a little bit troublesome is the drop tank. I don't like how it was molded. We have these very thick, like separation lines between the top half and the bottom half of the drop tank. Reinforcing strips that we have here, those are actually super thick. From what I have seen, those are actually very thin. I'm not really going to worry about it. We could, in theory, sand everything off and completely recontour the entire tank and then just add in some strips of styrene. But that's going to take a lot of time, and I don't really have a lot of time to do a bunch of extras. That is something that you could do. We're going to go ahead and paint that white. Not sure if that's the correct color. Also could be because I like ghost gray of some sort, but we're going to go with white. We're going to overcoat that with some primer. Then we're going to hit it with some Tamiya flat white. So let's go ahead and jump into the next time lapse. We're going to get that gloss coat applied for future. After that is secured, we're going to decal the entire aircraft, and we'll see where we go from there, guys. Onwards and upwards, we are getting there. Let's push on. Alright everybody, so we are back, and I gotta tell you, those decals actually went on really well. Problem is, well, there's some silvering on a couple of them, especially on the stars and bars. That's not great, but I'm not really going to worry about it too much because I'm hoping that you won't really notice it once I hit it with the flat coat. But now we're going to go ahead and do a little bit of touch-up painting. I want to take some flat white and I want to go over certain leading edges and trailing edges of the wings and tail so we can go ahead and complete the decal. Then after that's done, I'm going to come in with some future. I need to go ahead and seal all the decals, and then I think we're going to come in and we're going to do some washes and we're going to do a nice top coat. For the top coat, I plan on using my custom mix of future and matte varnish. I think it would work here just fine. And then we're going to go ahead and go to our panel line washes. I have one that does gray and blue, and then I also have one that's meant for black. And this actually is one I'm more interested in trying, and I'll get in those panel lines, and I think it might look pretty cool. So let's go ahead and get on to the last time lapse, guys. We need to go ahead and get that sealant coat done, get those panel washes done, get some exhaust staining. Let's do it, guys. Let's get this one finished up. Alright guys, we are back, and this is how the Hellcat has turned out. What a fun little build, guys. Honestly, a very entertaining build. It actually went pretty well. A couple of issues here and there, but for the most part, a great little kit. I was able to go ahead and attach in some easy line for the aerial. That looks okay. I did put one more aerial from that post down to the fuselage. It actually should enter into the right side of the fuselage. I have it going to the top of the spine. Little minor mistake there. We've got the drop tank glued on. Again, way too thick in terms of those attachment points, but I'm fine with it. The silvering did go away a little bit here and there, so that's great. But again, the decals, I don't know, they just tended to give me a bit more hassle. But we got them fixed up. Not perfect, but okay. Let's go ahead and get you a close-up here and show you the details. Now for the overall coloring, I use the MRP Dark Sea Blue. And I tried something a little bit different. I applied it over a white primer, and I used very intense dark lines of dark sea blue around the panel lines, and I overcoated that with a very light coat of the dark sea blue, and I think it works. Kind of a different take on the theme, you know? The drop tank, of course, was one of the areas that I just did not like on the kit. Everything is just way too thick and way too prominent. Went with a flat white for the drop tank. The wheels I wasn't too happy with, kind of chunky. It's okay, we've moved on past it. This was missing a few decals. For example, this little boarding line right here. that was gone. I had to make it out of another decal that I found here in the kit, so not perfect, but I think it works all right. A little disappointed we couldn't open the canopy because I did add seat belts, I did a little bit of dry brushing in there, and I think the cockpit looked pretty decent. But unfortunately, if you want to get this open, you either have to bend and flex the canopy or go buy some sort of aftermarket vacuum form or something, which I didn't want to do. This is fine. I'm happy with it. But that is it, guys. We are all finished up with day number 6. I can't believe we've gone halfway. That's awesome. Though I will have to admit, I am running out of time. Some family emergencies that popped up over the holidays, so it's really kind of taken some time away from the bench. But we're going to push on. We're going to see what we can do. I'm hoping to still be able to finish the build series. We're going to see how that works out. But anyway, we are done. I am so happy to have this kit all finished up. We're going to pop it in the display case. So until our next episode, you guys know the drill. Go out there and get yourself some bench time. Have some fun, build something cool. Happy holidays and season's greetings to each and every one of you, and we'll see you back here on the next episode of the 12 Sprues here on Ben Builds. Thanks so much, everybody. We'll see you soon.